So, what if winning was actually losing? Today, we're going to break down this really fascinating idea called the winner's curse. It's this paradox where getting exactly what you want turns out to be a massive mistake.
Okay, you've totally been here, right? You're on eBay, you're in this crazy bidding war for something you have to have, your heart's just pounding, you throw in that last bid, and bam, you win. But then, like a second later, that amazing feeling just evaporates, and you're left with that sinking pit in your stomach thinking, oh no, did I just pay way too much for this? Well, believe it or not, that feeling, it has a name.
Yeah, that feeling, that kind of hollow victory, it's like buyer's remorse on steroids. It actually has a formal name in economics, and trust me, its implications go way, way beyond just a few bucks on an online auction. We're talking about some of the biggest, highest stakes decisions people make in business and in life.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly is the winner's curse?
So here's the textbook definition. It's a thing that happens in auctions where nobody knows the true value of what they're bidding on. Think about this. A bunch of big oil companies are all bidding on the rights to drill in a certain piece of land. Here's the catch. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows for sure how much oil is actually under there. So what do? They all have to guess, right? They make estimates. So who's going to win that auction? It's going to be the company that's the most optimistic, the one who guessed the highest. They win. But they've almost certainly paid way more than that oil is actually worth. That's the curse.
And this right here, this is the whole kicker. The highest bidder is almost always the most optimistic person in the room, which also means they're probably the most wrong. See, when the value is a big question mark, the only thing winning really proves is that you were willing to pay more than anybody else. And that should immediately make you ask a really scary question. Wait, what did all those other people know that I didn't?
Okay, so now let's take this idea and apply it somewhere even more wild, the world of startups. Because when you think about it, starting a brand new company, well, it's kind of like entering a very, very strange and high-stakes kind of auction.
But there's a really important difference here. In a normal auction, you're bidding on something that exists, right? Like that oil lease. But in what we can call a venture auction, the entrepreneur is basically the only bidder. And they're not just bidding money, they're bidding their time, their reputation, everything on creating a market that literally doesn't even exist yet. The uncertainty is it's on a whole other level.
So how does this entrepreneur's curse actually happen? Well, it usually follows a pretty clear path. First, you've got the founder. They are, by definition, the most optimistic person about this idea. No one believes in it more than they do. So fueled by that belief, they bid the most. They pour in their life savings, years of their time. And guess what? They win. They actually do it. They create this whole new market. But then comes that final crushing moment. They realize that the prize they just won, it cost them way, way more than it could ever possibly be worth.
But here's a really important point. This isn't just about saying, oh, look at this funny flaw in how our brains work. Not at all. Understanding the winner's curse is really about figuring out a smarter way to make huge decisions when you can't see the future clearly. And that's the real objective here. The goal isn't to make you so scared of overpaying that you never do anything. No, it's about swapping out these simple ideas of human bias for a much more practical, smarter way of thinking. A framework that lets you still make bold moves, but with your eyes wide open to all the potential traps out there in the real world. So what does that actually look like? Well, a really smart entrepreneur, they don't just run on pure passion. They stop and ask the hard questions. Questions like, what if someone else knows something I'm missing? Or, is my own excitement about this idea making me blind to what the market will actually pay? They try to figure out the true cost of failure. It's this incredibly difficult balancing act, you know? You have to stay optimistic, but you also have to be brutally honest with yourself.
Okay, so all of this really forces us to step back and ask a bigger question. What does it even mean to win?
And here's the bottom line. The real goal should never be just to win the auction. It's to win a prize that was actually worth what you paid to get it. That's the whole game. Success isn't just about being number one. Real success is making sure that thing you fought so hard for was actually worth the fight. Because a victory that isn't worth the cost, that's the winner's curse right there.
And you know, this is a question that goes so far beyond business. We can all apply this to our own lives. Whether you're thinking about a new job, a big purchase, or just a personal project you're pouring your heart into, it's so important to ask, am I bidding on this with pure emotion, or do I have a clear idea of what it's really worth? So I'll leave you with that. Take a second and think about it. What are the wins in your life that are truly worth the price?